What's going on, YouTube? Thanks for tuning back into another video. Today's video isn't going to be about the Integra. Although we've been doing the how to shave your engine bay series, I'm not gonna lie, as a viewer, I'm sure you're getting a little bit sick and tired of seeing step by step by step, because I know as the person making the videos, I'm getting a little bit tired of doing one day after the other, prepping the engine bay. Not to say that I'm not gonna finish it, because obviously we wanna get this done, but I really want to change up my rhythm a little bit and start working on the CRX again. That being said, we have a nice video for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and roll the intro and we'll show you in just a second. All right, y'all, so if this doesn't give it away or the title of this video, you already probably know what we're doing. We're gonna be installing something that's kind of been long awaited. I got this product from Hush Performance a couple months ago, and just with everything that's been going on with getting the car ready for events and now revamping the Integra and whatnot, I hadn't been able to install it, just really didn't have the time. Today we're actually gonna be putting it in. This is their battery relocation kit by Hush Performance. It's basically 100% bolt-in if you get the riv nut, which is basically you use like a rivet gun onto the body, which lets you put nuts into the body without having to weld or any cut or anything. You just drill a spot, put a riv nut, and you're fine. I don't have that tool, so I'm actually just going to be tack welding it right here for this portion, but you'll see that once we get over there. At the moment, I have it ratchet strapped in there with some really ghetto plate that I made from the bottom, which is preventing me from running the good traction bar on these. Let me just show you right here. I have the side traction bar, basically the eBay style, and that's really, really weak compared to the one that bolts onto the front bottom. If you know about EFs and CRXs, you know what I'm talking about. The one on the bottom is much better. It holds its place a lot better than this one, which tends to rock back and forth on any car when you put them on, especially the CRXs and EFs, just because of the way that the lower control arms are. So by putting this, we're going to be able to actually mount the traction bar how we want it, have the other one on there, and it's going to look a lot cleaner. It's going to be using an Odyssey PC680 battery. This has a whole different types of ways that you can mount the cables actually on, or the battery cables onto the terminals, however you want to say it. The easiest way, which is what I'm going to be doing right now, is just an M6 bolt onto this 4-gauge, I believe it's called a battery lug. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not a professional. Yeah, there we go, battery cable lugs. And that's just gonna go straight to a battery cable, which then I'll be doing to a distribution block in the future. I'm not sure if I'll include that in this video because it's a little off topic from the battery box, but I'm also gonna be doing a cutoff switch onto the back of the car, which just from looking at it, I think I'm gonna run it somewhere around right here, basically where I have La Fea sticker. That was one of the things at the track a couple weeks ago when we went. They said that it was against specifications since the battery is not in the OEM location, which is right here or right there on a lot of Hondas, but obviously we can't fit it on CRXs right there. Since it is located, we're supposed to have a battery cutoff switch, which means basically that in like a catastrophic event or something at the track, if fuel starts spraying everywhere, if the car catches on fire, worst case scenario obviously, then the tech can quickly run to the back of the car, switch the power supply, and cuts off the whole car, cuts off the whole fuel delivery, everything. So it's gonna be definitely a lot safer to run that, so we're super happy to be installing that. But if I have time, I'll put it into this video. If I don't, then I'll just focus on the battery box. Like I said, we're gonna go ahead and dive into this right now. Basically, if you're installing this onto your car, then you know what you're gonna have to take off. Every single car is different. In my case, I'm just gonna go over here and look at what is in the way. So obviously we have our velocity stack and intake pipe. It's a 4-inch, so it is pretty big. We're gonna have to get all of this out of the way, and then we can clean up the wiring while we're doing that as well. And then obviously, it's a no-brainer. We are gonna have to take off the bumper. And for the CRXs, on this side, I actually just have it held up with some self-tapping screws. If you have it like OEM, then you probably use the little bracket, which goes right here and attaches to the fender, which is just being held by a couple screws. In my case, I only have one screw at the moment. I actually want to make some quick release latches for the bumper to the fender one of these days. So I'm not going to keep that 100% for forever, but just for the time being, that's how I have it set up. We're going to go ahead and take the bumper and the intake off and really expose the view of everything on the battery, and then we can go from there. No, that was actually a lot quicker than I thought. It only took about 30 seconds to take off the intake and about a minute to take off the bumper. So with that being said, check out that big hole, 5-inch. Anyways, so yeah, we have the battery mounted right here. Like I mentioned earlier, it is super sketch right now. Actually, the ratchet strap, if I'm looking at it correctly, yeah, it's either swollen the battery around it, or the ratchet strap has like caved in the battery right there. Super dangerous now that I think about it. But let's see. Yeah, the strap was nice and secure, but this was holding it in place. But still super ghetto. If you know, you know. This is something that I made up like a year ago. Basically some spacers to make it flush with the battery at the height that I wanted it, and then a couple random bolts. Real sketch, but it got the job done for the time being. Now it's time to make it nice and safe. If you guys have seen the videos and the pictures of this installed, that battery box, you know how nice and tucked it looks and how actually functional it is. Another subject while we're looking at the car with the wheel turn, check this out. No front axle. It's got the dummy axle in it still. A lot of people were asking me exactly how I did the rear wheel drive. Well, this is a front wheel drive original car. I've converted it to all wheel drive, and then I took out the front axles. So I have like a dummy inner axle and a dummy outer axle, so the hubs don't fall out. So yeah, that's how I did the rear wheel drive conversion, real simple. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and remove this hunk of unsafe and start mocking that up. All right, so skip forward. I removed the old plate like I showed you in the last clip. As for mounting this on the bolt part for the front, we just like basically ripped this off. It's really weak metal, given that it's super old too. It bends super easily. That exposed the bottom hole where you just bolt it on. So the front goes bolted on right there. And the back portion, for reference, is right down there. And this is where you're supposed to install the riv nuts. Basically drill and nut a riv nut in right there. Like I said already, I don't have a riv nut, but I do have a welder, so I'm just gonna tack weld it in place. It should be more than enough. Might do a little bead on there just for extra strength. But besides that, then that should be good to bolt on completely. And that little bracket is removable from that portion right there. So as long as I have the bracket in place, I can still remove the whole box if I need to in the future. And then, I mean, if I want to take that little bracket off in the future, I can also grind down that weld. But yeah, so there's that in its spot. I'm just gonna remove it all, mark with a marker where I'm gonna weld, tack it on real quick, and go from there. All right, bet. Man, that's hard. I should have taken the wheel off. Just want to get to the position that I want it, you know? Hold it in place. Ain't a pretty weld. This a weld. She's strong right there. That thing ain't going nowhere. Yeah, that's pretty strong. All right, there you go. Two little small beads on the bottom of that. Not pretty, but it'll hold. I just gotta clean it up and spray it with a little paint so it don't rust. But that's nice and firm. All right, so we got that painted up. No rust there. It was still nice and toasty when I painted it, so you saw it sizzle like some fresh eggs in the morning. And it sits a lot more out of the way than the old one did, a lot more forward. So on the old battery, let me show you the contact patch. That was our slicks. So obviously, she was touching the slicks, dude. You see that? But we ain't gonna be touching. Look at all the clearance we got now. We have plenty right there. And these are like a 23-inch tire, so about an inch or two more inwards. That's that full lock isn't gonna touch. So we should be good even on the 24.5 slicks. All right, guys, skip forward to the next day. We actually ran into some problems last night. We couldn't find the battery lugs that we wanted to use. And we ended up deciding to run 4-gauge after talking to a couple people in the drag racing community who I really trust, and they said the amperage drop is just going to be a little bit too much with the 0-gauge. So we're going to run the 4-gauge, and I actually had lugs for it and enough 4-gauge to make it work. Right now, I am working on the back of the car. I am mounting up the cutoff switch right now. So basically, I took apart the cutoff switch, and this is just the faceplate. And I'm positioning it how I want. I'm just going to hold it up with a little piece of tape, as you can see right there. And this little plate was basically just spot welded onto the corner on the inside, and then it had this little vent as well. Let me show you. That just sat right there, and obviously, like I said, I took that panel off. And the battery switch back part, the whole mechanism is actually going to sit back here while the plate sits right there. And I haven't seen many CRXs with this before, and the few ones that I have seen were either on the bumper, and obviously I don't have a bumper, or right here on the tail light. I didn't like that, so I'm going to go right on there. This is just plastic. I think from the factory, it's just plastic also. And yeah, I'm going to drill right through it with some long rivets. That way the plate will be riveted on from the plastic on the front, and it should go all the way through the metal and be nice and secure. And yeah, I'll go ahead and tape that up, drill it out. And for the big center one, I'm just going to use a step bit. I think actually... what would be the best way to do this? Probably rivet it, or put the rivets in place without actually riveting it, and then marking the hole, and then using a big drill bit, step bit, to actually drill it out. So I'll start that right now. Unfortunately, I misaligned the top hole, so I'm gonna have to re-drill that out, but everything else lines up. I have the big switch cutoff right there. I just took this little screw off so I could remove this and whatnot. Off, on, off, on, and it's super sturdy. Right there, I think that's like the perfect place to put a cutoff switch, and I think it actually fits well with the car right there. So yeah, I'm gonna finish bolting this on, and then that area right there, I think it gives like perfect access to set up the battery cutoff lugs, and then I just run the wiring all across there to the front. So I'll finish bolting that on, and we should be good to go. All right, it is fully riveted on. I have it with the nut and lock washer right over here. I also put a little bit of thread locker. What always mesmerized me, this is a red container for blue thread locker, the removable type, not the permanent. It's always weird how they switch the colors like that. Anyways, so this is on 100%, on, off, nice and safe for the track, and it's pretty cool. It's like a race car. I like it. So now the next thing to do is to actually run the battery cables all the way back here. So what I am gonna do, I'm gonna run the one long from the battery itself to the back, and then somewhere under the dash, I'll actually mount the distribution block so I can actually get all my accessories and whatnot off of it. So I think it'll be a lot cleaner, and under the engine bay, it won't be such a mess. So I'll start running that. It's kind of a long process because I have to crimp everything on, like all the battery lugs. I've already done on one, but then gotta do the rest of them. I'll just show you the finished product in just a minute. As we mentioned earlier, I have the ground right up here. Then I have 2 wires coming off directly on the positive, one straight to starter, which obviously it's gonna be hot right there, but the starter doesn't actually do any work until you click it over on the key, which is when it signals the power in here to actually make the starter run. So if my ECU or my key switch isn't getting any power, then that's not gonna be able to start the starter. That's how we have it wired into my Integra as well. I'm not 100% sure that that's track legal. If somebody can chime in the comment section below, please let me know. I think it is, but the reason that we did it like that is just so we could have a very short path from the starter to the battery itself. Anyways, moving on from the main power wire, we go over all the way to the back, which we have our off and on switch for the whole car. Then off of that switch, it comes back forward. I bolted right here a distribution block, the one that we showed earlier in the video. I'll just show this off real quick. So on the right hand side, we have from that switch, then right there we have the nitrous warmer, and then right here this goes to our fuse box, which is also under the dash. And that from this one right here basically distributes for the whole car. So that's pretty nice right there. I don't have at the moment wired in 2 things, which were wired kind of ghetto-y before. I had this directly to the battery, the power for the fan, and then I had my switch to ground inside. But I'm gonna rewire this a different way so the fan isn't just all ugly and, you know, with that clunk or that clutter of mess over there with the wiring. And another thing I have to wire in is my headlights, because I wasn't getting power to the headlight actual connectors back in the day. I'll see if I can investigate right now and figure out why that is. But so what I did was direct power and then the ground right there. So that's basically how I had it ran. I just have to finish those two things. But as for the car itself, I just tested it a second ago. I turn it off and I try to start it, nothing. Then I turn it on, I try to start it, and it starts right up perfectly. So I know everything is functioning how it should, even with the small P680 battery. It actually cranks pretty well. This is a high compression motor, 12.5-to-1, and this cranks it no problem, which I was actually a lot surprised. I thought it was gonna be a lot slower crank, but it was pretty good. I'm gonna clean up the car and then I'll do a little video for Instagram to post that I have it all done, as well as for YouTube, I'll do like a nice startup video for it. So yeah, let me just clean up the area real quick, because if you can't notice, I have tools everywhere. Just wanna clean it up real quick and we'll go from there. Up perfectly for such a small battery, I think, and I'm really impressed with it. I also cleaned up a little bit of the front core support. I cut off some pieces because we are doing the backdoor intercoolers for this once we do the turbo, which I'm not sure if I've revealed it on video yet. This is obviously we're not using the VTEC head, but this is the manifold, wastegate, and Ching Chong Nagasaki leaf blower that we're going to be using. A nice little eBay setup. So we're super happy to start that soon. Probably in December we'll actually throw the kit on, since late November we're doing Cletus and Cars, and I want to go NA for that. So yeah, just in preparations of that. That does pretty much sum up the install video for both the cutoff switch and the Hush Performance battery mount. I know it wasn't a lot step by step like I usually do my videos, but we were pretty busy these last couple days, so I just wanted to get something out to you guys. So that does pretty much sum up the video for today. If you have any questions regarding the products that I put on the car today, make sure to shoot me a DM at Instagram at Slowintegra. I'm going to be trying to reply as soon as possible. It's a lot easier than getting to all the comments on YouTube sometimes. And hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.